changed by the end of play. But in Arsenal's case, it's been 19 years since they lost on the final day. Final day, completed runs, the second longest in English football history. Zinchenko, the last one this season. Change for both sides. Players being rested, players not fitting up for the final day. Players in their usual positions, rather than Tierney set up for Arsenal today, and Taylor and Southampton in their back line. Martinelli plays it to Zinchenko.
Great day for football, sir. Certainly not an afternoon to be risking anybody, as you mentioned just a few seconds ago, because of their fitness.
Declan Rice comes to play. He's fit. And he gets rested in that case. He missed a couple of games through injury this campaign. Zinchenko, and in the box. Would have been a quick start from Arsenal.
Yeah, nice cross from Zinchenko, lots of pace on it. I feel with it just being a yard or two ahead of the Brazilian. Just had to wait for it, and then that's a difficult header to get past the good goalkeeper.
It's also this interesting situation where they don't have a player who scored double figures in the Premier League this season. Kai Havertz on 9 goals, Martinelli on 8.
Yes, the much maligned Kai Havertz. I mean, if he'd played another 10 or 12 games, he would have gotten at least another 5 or 6 goals. It's certainly an area that Arsenal need to strengthen. A man through the middle who's going to be reliable to put the ball in the back of the net. Not to rush through there. Declan Rice backed in without looking to play the ball at all.
Well, Stewart should be okay. Just his 5th start to this Premier League campaign. Rotated a fair amount in their front line, Southampton, trying to find a solution to their goal scoring issues. There's Partey. Kivio has really stepped up for Arsenal when needed. The season certainly needed with Gabriel's injury. Now the leader of the back line today with all the changes. Zinchenko. Martinelli on the move. Martinelli in behind Sugawara. Playing in a decent way as well, and there's the arrival of Marino, who's so good in the air.
No, it's another good chance. Nice timing of the run from Martinelli. Didn't waste time once he brought it back onto his right foot. And Marino's got that knack of just getting in between defenders. Just didn't quite get high enough. Totally unchallenged in between centre halves, Wood and Taylor.
So the first 4 minutes here, Arsenal put in 2 crosses and 2 headers on goal. Edinson off the ball, they wouldn't quite want for any one of those players to come through Southampton youth system. They've got a pretty good track record in that area. There's Taylor. On that pass as White tries to deal with it. Stewart.
Yeah, lots of good players they produced, haven't they? They've got an outstanding one, I think, potentially in Tyler Dibbling.
Disappointing. Isn't available today with muscle injury. Sagana on the line to Robinson. To play back inside, Tierney in the right place. And Martinelli, sort of passing would have wanted there. Here's Downs. And a bit of room for Phil Downs. Will he go himself? That's the break here for Robinson. Sterling ducks inside. Liverpool has been penalised. Arsenal had the break on there.
My first thought, there wasn't too much in it. Yeah, just a little bit of a check. Nothing that Liverpool did, he took the ball cleanly.
There's Wood. Nathan Wood with the pull of the shirt. Tierney. It's Kivior. Marino. Zinchenko. Some battling. It's Southampton going. So 3 substitute appearances before today, giving him his start on that right wing where Dribbling has been impressing this season. White. Speaking of talented teenagers, there's Waneri. And Waneri. Great shift of his feet to get it back inside. Raheem Sterling. They can't hit the target.
Never really got set, did he, Raheem Sterling? Nice goal from Ethan Waneri, then didn't overplay his hand. Nice simple pass to Sterling. Yeah, I thought it was a little bit off balance. And his weaker foot as well, the left. Never really troubling the goalkeeper.
Arteta watching on from the stands, a yellow card. Picked up for kicking the ball away to add to his tally this campaign. Brilliant ball for the touchline ban today. Stewart to pick it up. Robinson. Chipwood. Wood. To Taylor. Wood again.
And the biggest concern for Arsenal fans, who I've spoken to in the last couple of weeks, is that they see it as a missed opportunity. Nobody expected Liverpool to be so brilliant and consistent this campaign. So I feel as if, Arsenal with the more settled side and an incumbent coach as well, 5 or so years into the job, we've been able to take the opportunity. We know that City will be stronger next year to players that they have bedded in throughout the course of this campaign, and Chelsea as well with Maresca in his second full season.
White, back to Partey, to Sterling. Ball of Sterling. Will be an Arsenal throw-in. Frustration for Wellington. Sterling. Waneri. He gets it back again. Waneri trying to play that ball. I think on the reverse to Marino. Here's Zinchenko. And something to Waneri again.
Now with a chance for Zinchenko to cross the ball, he's got a good left foot. And he put one good one in.
Zinchenko waltzing through here and here's Partey. Now Rice. Couldn't really catch hold of it. I think he was expecting the pass actually in the end. And Stewart. And that ball up to get Southampton going. Good Chipwood. Good run from the Liverpool from midfield. Appreciated by the home support. Nonton. To Downs. Wood. Over a side, right at the bottom of the table. Not in the bottom echelons of the Premier League in regards to accurate passes and possession. The side have been able to keep the ball for long spells this season, but haven't been able to hurt the left sides effectively. Caught out a few times as well.
You know, when they have been caught out defensively, they've invariably been punished, haven't they? That's the issue. It's not the number of mistakes you make, it's where you make them, against whom. And the better teams, so you know, you can have the ball. We'll be more efficient, of course, when we do.
One of the more quality users of the ball this season, Tess Fernandez, stretching for that ball. Young player, still 20 years of age. Arguably their standout player across the season in terms of consistent performances. Stewart has ball inside to Downs. Where are he trying to win it? Can't. Stewart. Chipwood. Rescued by Suleiman. Taylor. Since January till today. There's the Downs. Sugawara. Period of possession. Not many teams get to do this to Arsenal, really. So they like to keep the ball themselves. Downs feeding it into Stewart. It's almost, to say, decent move.
Nonton is his curse. Yeah. You would imagine that they'll be changing the way they play too much, if anything at all, next season in the Championship. Simon Rusk has tried to alter one or two things and maybe a little bit more, or tried to make them more solid defensively. It's really not worked out, but he'll still have his work cut out. You imagine there'll be lots of deflated egos when they come July in pre-season training. But in truth, they should be one of the stronger sides next season.
That's how things can flip. They're trying to, in some respects, contain some of the best teams in the world. Being one of the leading sides in the division, or the expectation to be one of the leading sides in the division. Well, still, his job is not to keep Southampton up, it's to get them back up. Will change quickly.
And the parachute payment clubs have a big advantage, don't they? You know, they've got 2 years at least in which to steal a march, if you like, on their rivals who've not experienced this level of football for quite some time.
Look into the French market as well. So many players have come from the top 5 in France to impress in the Premier League. Here's Waneri. And Waneri to play it in, and that will go behind for the first corner of the game.
Well, these games are very difficult to get yourself up for. No surprise, that's a little bit lacklustre at the moment, both on the field and off.
Maybe that's why it's such a good opportunity for younger players in the squad, particularly in Arsenal squad here with Ethan Waneri. High hopes expected of the teenager who hasn't had many opportunities in recent weeks, but certainly a big part of their future.
Yeah, it's more the case for the Saints players, isn't it? You know, for them to show the ones who've not had much game time. It's said to impress the new coach.
So there he goes short to Martinelli. Zinchenko, pressure from Suleiman, forced all the way back to right.
Yeah, you can't afford to take chances when a speedy player is up against it and wouldn't recover in time.
And right, going for that pass right out to that side. He was actually warned not to do that by White, who's now having a go at it. No need to play that ball, and that was echoed by Declan Rice.
Not been included in the English squad, has he, Ben White? Despite declaring that he's ready to play once again.
As we understand it, he has a baby on the way.
Ah, I see. Okay.
So Thomas Tuchel has said, though, he will be trying his players in the future.
His wife or partner has a baby on the way, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He'll get another chance, of course, if he continues to to play. He's got to force himself back into the Arsenal side on a regular basis. Jurgen Timber has made that spot his own.
Sterling is looking for the 1-2. Waneri, Sterling onto White. Sterling again, is caught. Southampton has had some of the quickest feet in the Premier League. Raheem Sterling at his best. Able to hit those heights in his loan spell with Arsenal though. His 17th appearance for them in the campaign, just his 8th start. Premier League season, no goals. Just 1 goal for the club in the League Cup. So Waneri, Southampton, everybody back. Kivior, Marino, Partey. Expect them to stay where they are. They don't. Arsenal set piece, in it goes. It was dealt with at the near post. Wellington was there first. And now Ramsdale. And that is picked out of the sky by Stewart, but no foul. So White to bring it forward. Himself has had an injury layoff during this period as well. Not many Arsenal players haven't. Some time out this season. Big reason why Arsenal have been able to maintain the pace with Liverpool.
Yes, mitigating circumstances they have suffered, especially in their forward line. It's certainly one big reason why I'm not overly critical of where they're finishing in the campaign. Any team losing 2 mainline forwards find it a lot more difficult.
Reject forward line today as well. Here's Martinelli. Took White early on, wins another corner. Havertz and Saka and Ødegaard all on the bench today for Arsenal.
Uneasy for the detractors to say, well, he had the opportunity to buy one in January, but it's not that easy, is it, to find somebody who's going to be at least as good, if not better, hopefully, than the guys who are currently wearing the shirt. Pretty stacked bench this afternoon.
Trossard as well. Right in the sun. So Rice to take his corner for Arsenal. One of the best deliveries for a corner kick in the Premier League. Somebody comes up this time. A bad corner, Wood gets it away. Mary thinks about the shot. Tierney. And Sterling, he's the best cross in the world. Now, sweep away. And Southampton with room to run into. Lacking in support, but it is arriving. Southampton, and across comes Zinchenko. But he really opened those legs up there, Southampton.
Yeah, in the end, it was about the best he could hope for, to be honest. Nobody made that run towards the near post. In truth, nobody from Southampton was able to keep up with him. There we go, we got 3-4 Arsenal shirts in the box before the striker. Poor Stewart arrives. We've got the corner out here.
Sometimes you can be vulnerable from your own corners. You just saw that there for Arsenal. Southampton do with their set piece. Mendes sit towards the near post. Another go. Rice heading it behind.
Don't know why he went it around. Referee Darren Bond didn't see anything untoward. From a neutral point of view, it'd be great if Southampton score first, and that would really bring a lot more out of Arsenal. Lift the crowd. It was a much better atmosphere than we've had so far.
As I said, second not mathematically confirmed. He goes to the Southampton corner. This is ambitious attempt to huge appeals from the Southampton players. Several of them around the referee.
Didn't he strike it well? Didn't he strike it well? Well, Sugawara. On a half volley, terrific technique. And I'm sure it was in the goal bound. Look at that connection. Declan Rice turns it, but does it come off the... That was a guilty look, wasn't it, from Declan Rice? Off the chest first and then handball.
Well, the on-field decision has been confirmed. They've looked at that, felt. It's not out.
He's putting his hand in, is he? And I think it maybe brushes the midriff first. Could have been harsh.
Somebody's up to players convinced. There's Fernandes' corner again, Wood attacking it. So they're collecting, bowling that ball out to Partey. Zinchenko, Kivior, Martinelli, Tierney, lovely ball in, and put behind by Taylor. And a reminder of Tierney's ability to cross the ball from those sort of areas.
Yeah, that was another great delivery. Come up from Arsenal, nice and early once again. Yeah, Marino's such a dangerous, not a traditional forward. It was a menace in the box.
You see Josh Kroenke there, next to Mikel Arteta. Was in Lisbon yesterday to watch Arsenal's winning with the Champions League in a win over Barcelona. And for Arsenal's men reaching the semi-finals of the Champions League. So one area to the back post it goes, and Taylor stretching. Also such a threat from corners this campaign, although that threat diminished somewhat after Gabriel's injury. He was such a big threat, wasn't he, from corners?
He's the main man from set pieces.
Here's Martinelli. And I mentioned about the fact that Arsenal are totally secure in second place. Manchester City are leading away to Fulham. Look like Gundogan in the opener there. That means if Southampton were to score, the two Arsenal and Manchester City will be level on points, but it's a healthy goal difference for Arsenal, which is the difference. Big difference. Tierney. And Martinelli. The lead, it's not too far-fetched. It's Rice. One area. Zinchenko. Martinelli. Finding room. Again. Marino, who's such a target for crosses. And he clipped the top of the bar as well.
Yeah, that's the best ever so far. Another lovely cross from this left side, and this time after just peeling away towards the far post, Marino, you can then sort of, you can get the run on the defender to start with, adjust his run if necessary, depending on the flight of the ball. That's a good header.
7 Premier League goals this season, used as a makeshift striker, but he was pretty effective for a period for the Gunners. 4 of those goals via his head. Here's Partey. Southampton supporters goading the Arsenal supporters. Partey to an area. Maybe a free kick the other way. Southampton supporters picking up on the fact that, of course, Tottenham Hotspur won the Europa League. Sure, great irritation to the Arsenal supporters. But ultimately a competition that Arsenal weren't in. I think they're enjoying the to and fro anyway. Part of being a football supporter, element of Southampton. They heard you. Now Ramsdale. Pumping it forward towards Stewart, trying to help it on. Stewart again, away by Rice. Taylor. Ball back inside there. This is promising. He was laid off to the path of the player to take the shot on. It didn't happen in the end. Oh, Chilco just rescued the situation. And Arsenal still have it. White. He gives it away to Fernandes. Answer to Martinelli, no foul. Fernandes stays down. Arsenal come forward. Sterling. And Sterling towards Marino again. No foul again. Zinchenko. They try and pull it back. Martinelli. Happy. Trying to clear their line. Nice. Partey. And Partey to line.
He's had a decent shot on occasion, so Partey. This one not one of his better ones. Unfortunately, Ramsdale firmly behind it. Nice, safe hands. And Mourinho is really good at following up, isn't he? Getting a few scraps. Nice little stooping header against Liverpool at Anfield a couple of weeks back. Odegaard's shot was in that coming back off the crossbar by Alisson's tip on the woodwork.
Best scoring season for Arsenal. Thomas Partey, 4 goals. His Premier League campaign. Most games he's played for Arsenal in the season as well, by a fair margin actually. 52nd appearance today.
That's a lot, isn't it? The guy's had a couple of disrupted seasons with injury. We're out to contract, isn't it, in a couple of weeks' time?
So let's talk about him staying there. Of course, Downs still playing that ball in the box, cleared away by Tierney. I think the fact he's been relatively fit all season and being an important player in a few matches for Arsenal as well, a senior figure in the squad, suggesting that they would look to come to an agreement for him to stay at the club for a bit longer. Wood trying to sweep that into the path of Stewart. Sterling. Wellington. And Sterling trying to cover the chance. He's already losing the ball. Sullivan, a decision in the Arsenal defence. Wellington. He's signed in January. So it's not without their errors in the opening half an hour. Southampton with just the one effort on goal up to now. Arsenal 6 attempts on the Ramsdale goal. It's Taylor. Back to Wood. Simple to find Fernandes. And Fernandes! That's a clever pass into the path of Stewart. Back it goes, Sugawara. Fernandes. That's the moment gone for Southampton. Downs. Chukwu. It's not back in their shape. Probably, if you're going to try and find a way through this Arsenal defence, this is their weakest lineups of the season. Wellington doing well and looking to put it back, but Declan Rice was there.
Too precise. Ball must be cut across the face of the box.
Fernandes sharp, playing it into a shot. That's a big chance.
Well, he had a couple of things to think about, did young Ross Stewart. So looking at the flight of the ball, and then he had to try and sort of nudge Kieran Tierney out of the way without committing a foul. Yeah, gives him a little bit of a nudge, but then he doesn't adjust his body all at the same time, which is not easy, especially if the ball is not quite in front of you. He wasn't able to take any forward momentum into it. Slightly missed time of the header.
Been involved a fair amount though in the opening half hour. Let's talk about touches for strikers. It's a 13 so far, Stuart. Here's Martinelli. Tierney. Here's Zinchenko. Martinelli. Proved effective so far for Arsenal. What about this one to the back post? That's where Sterling was. White. Waneri. He has to cut inside of Carl with his left foot. Waneri. And Waneri holds off Ogachukwu. Tierney. Martinelli. Tierney wants it back. Martinelli, sharp. Move by Downs. Zinchenko. Tierney, little ball into Rice. It is well placed and headed out again. Well, Arsenal, one of the best teams in the league at getting themselves into the final third, but it's been what they do with it has been an issue at times this season. We're down on the number of goals they scored in the last campaign. Defence has been strong though. Here's Waneri. Partey. Kivior. Zinchenko onto Tierney. And Tierney, brilliant work. It's not a bad ball either. I'll bring to Martinelli. Is that where you want a striker, is it?
Always. If you can, somebody making that run across the face of the goalkeeper. It's an instinctive thing. It's very difficult for midfielders, to be put into that position and learn the movements. What would be very late in your career, it's not trying to make those kind of runs on a regular basis in your mid-20s. Some people, it's just never going to be possible.
I just need to do in football, score a goal. Here's Tierney. That's Zinchenko. Tierney is one of the centre halves.
And because they've been able to play so much more measured in the last 20-25 years, and then defences get set, harder to break them down, they put themselves in those defensive blocks. And it's just that little bit more difficult when defenders are not running back towards their own goal. The space very often is not there. So many wide players do not cross it anyway.
Not one of those wide players, he definitely looks across it when he gets into that area. And having the confidence to be able to offer something in wide areas here with the security Arsenal have on the ball. Kivior, actually playing as the only centre half. Waneri. Kivior to Tierney.
The defenders hate it when that ball just keeps on coming in and coming in. So you need some quality behind it, can't be hopeful.
Zinchenko's turn. Will it break for Arsenal? Not quite. Brilliant. Again, it's all about the support. And he's forced to go back.
He's done the right thing. There was nobody ahead of him really to get possession. Like to see that again, that lovely body swerve.
Here it goes again. That is a free kick. The defence up onto White's arm. Well, let's see that again then.
Why not? Talked about the natural movement of players across the face of goalkeeper. That's supernatural as well. It's a little feint you're going to touch, you're allowed to run across your body. Dangerous in that area, but executed superbly. And low centre of gravity as well helps.
That's a misplaced pass so far either.
Snake hips, it's known as well. That movement.
Clipped into the penalty area, and out comes David Raya. So looking to get on with it, and likewise Arsenal. Partey. Southampton taking that free kick quickly. Maybe stop me asking you about your own stake hips, but save that for another time.
Yeah, good idea.
Here's Rice.
He's the right spark at the moment, isn't he, for the Saints? Suleiman. Just like to see Ross Stewart just stay up, close to that halfway line, occupy at least 2 Arsenal defenders, give himself a breather as well, somebody to try and play up to as well if they do get that little bit of control, or the opportunity to go from defending just outside the box. He's using up a lot of energy just in these areas where he's not particularly effective.
Head into Marino. Getting into the box, fair amount so far. Martinelli on the right hand side now. One in, once again. Arsenal in their pocket pick. Suleiman the man to pick that pocket. It's a familiar story for him. They're just unable to commit the bodies quickly enough. Defended for a period of play.
Yeah, he skates off, and once again his teammates are not quick enough to get up with it, but he's done the right thing. Check back and get control.
A brilliant start for Southampton so far. Can they lead Suleiman? Good. To Fernandes.
Was a great pass from Fernandes.
Stewart stretching.
Yeah, he's going to play that to the other side of his teammate, give him a chance and remove the possibility of Kivior diving in as he did.
The players over the final day feeling they have the license to try a few things. Some moments of one-touch football from Southampton in this first half. There's Sterling trying to rally the ball and have the opportunity. Tierney whips it in. Particularly lines in the occasion. Taylor. The triple is down. Stays down. Suleiman are on his own, and Stewart's arriving, and I think having courted 2 lines, and the flag does stay down.
It's about 3 yards offside. I suppose we don't always quite get the right, do we? By the time the ball is played, we shift our eyes and look clearly off, but
that was another opportunity there for Suleiman.
his first touch wasn't anywhere near good enough set, didn't take him goalwards. As a result, he was looking for support very quickly because the angle to shoot was extremely difficult.
Has been spaces though, and an Arsenal defence to exploit, understandable with all the changes they've been forced to make to that back line. Very unfamiliar Arsenal. However, Southampton have had opportunities. Stewart that time was up with Suleiman. Kivior, collected by White. Tierney. Now Rice, standing up for Arsenal this season. And Sterling, Zinchenko. Partey across to White. Martinelli, switching wings. Martinelli clips it into the arms. Ramsdale comfortable for him in the end. Suleiman, how many opportunities has he had in this first half to break away?
Yeah, this time on the near side, the right. Here comes the ball. Oh yeah, that's almost a yard onside, isn't it? So the official got that one right and resisted the temptation, even if he thought perhaps he's off to pull a fly. As I said, the touch wasn't good enough to take him goalwards, and then the defence got a choice: bring him down or just try and squeeze him and force a shot under pressure.
Now that ball's just played over the top and timed perfectly for Martinelli. Good save from Ramsdale. For the Southampton nicely, but Ramsdale didn't.
Brilliant stop. Didn't rush out. Once again, attacker is onside. This time Martinelli. Yeah, just needed a little bit more forward momentum out to wait for the ball to come down. In the end, it's a pretty good attempt, isn't it? The leg of Ramsdale stuck out. That's a top save. Thought he was going to actually take it on just another yard and get across the defender, but he didn't. And that's a good save.
Well, Ramsdale made 89 appearances for Arsenal in 3 years. Keeping the Gunners out without chance. So this chance for Martinelli to get another one soon. Here's Zinchenko. And Zinchenko! Hold it there. There's something on it.
Yeah, it was closed down pretty quickly. Sugawara gets up pretty quickly, doesn't he? So there's a deflection. Yeah, it just picked up speed, didn't it, when it caught the Southampton man. Ramsdale perhaps has got that covered anyway.
Zinchenko going close. So now Rice. First half. Not much left in it. And Rice to the back post, and almost all the way in. Pushed away by Ramsdale. He was worried for a second. Here's one area. Arsenal still with plenty of bodies waiting for the cross, and it will come now. On his final appearance for Arsenal, scores for Arsenal. And they'll surround him with smiles on their faces, smiles up high, and smiles in the away end as well, for the most popular of goal scorers, Kieran Tierney.
Well, there's a kind of movement out of the near post that we were talking about some minutes back. He's already in front of the striker Ross Stewart to begin with. There should be another teammate of him just to block that cross. I mean, it's a lovely finish though, isn't it? He swings the right foot, the Scottish left back. That's a superb finish. Yeah, we can fault the defending. There should be somebody who's blocking that, not allowing it to get into the 6-yard box. Easily defendable if you've got somebody there. That's a super little control finish from Tierney.
He had a goal disallowed a few weeks ago, but that one counts for Tierney. It's been a while since he scored for the club. In a difficult period with injuries as well. And he's been a popular figure for Arsenal. And a man today who has got himself on the score sheet. 140 appearances for the Gunners. Total. It's first. And Arsenal break the deadlock. First half, Southampton have had their opportunities.
And a balance of play, you've got to say that Arsenal deserve it. Tested the goalkeeper up to a couple of times, a couple of corners, good crosses into the box. So relief for Mikel Arteta's side that they've got the lead, and something for the fans to sing about, of course. The Saints have looked just a little bit dangerous on the break, almost exclusively through Sulemana, so all hope is not lost.
Just before half-time as well, frustrating for Southampton. Second assist this season for Ben White. And sort of fullback who will get to the byline and put a cross in. For something different. Just one more minute to play in this first half. Southampton, when they've conceded the opening goal in a match at home in the Premier League this season, they've lost every time. Here's Tierney. Sterling. Marino trying to play that ball back inside. Suleiman. Probably Southampton's player of the half. Bearing forward again, Suleiman. Can he get a shot away this time? He's got another chance.
Military alive, wisely Suleiman. That first shot I think he's going well wide of the post. The pulse up after the deflection, he's well within his rights to have another strike. This time into the side netting.
Well, you can see Suleiman there, he's had a fair few opportunities to make something happen for Southampton. He's looked dangerous on the break, but ultimately the difference between the sides is Kieran Tierney's first Premier League goal since Boxing Day 2021. And on his final appearance for Arsenal, he scored for Arsenal. And at half-time at St Mary's, it is Southampton 0, Arsenal 1.
Mau dapat voucher belanja 25 juta tiap bulan? Sekarang ada Shopee VIP. Buka aplikasi Shopee dan mulai langganan Shopee VIP. Nikmati gratis ongkir instan tanpa batas dan diskon 20% setiap hari. Hanya di Shopee VIP.
Belajar memaknai setiap perjalanan. Dan
One airing. Off downs. It's played by Tierney straight to Robinson. And giving it away in the end. Couple of attempts to the dribble in the first half, none that was successful for Southampton teenager. Ramsdale. In the season with just 3 clean sheets to his name in the campaign. 2 penalty saves. And then Ramsdale to Stewart. Nobody on him. Fernandes. Does find Sigalara. Getting wide to Robinson. He could run Zinchenko. Robinson, Stewart on the turn, back to Robinson. Now urging a Southampton player to shoot to the end. And
He got very close to Zinchenko, and in the end he gave himself no real room to cross the football. He got something a bit out of it at the end.
13 goals for the youth side this season, 33 matches. So Wood up for the Southampton corner. Ripped into one post, pushed away by Raya. Martinelli trying to get it under control. Thing to do in your own penalty area. Sterling trying to open it to Martinelli.
Superb covering. just forced Martinelli to check. You've seen who he was up against and decided perhaps that's not a race that even I, with my speedy legs, to win. Yeah, he's away from the defence. That's great coverage on the angle.
Southampton needed him there. Sterling. Just about to foul. Vincent. It is a little unfortunate. Rice. Zinchenko to Sterling. Rice trying to play it back into the path of Sterling. Fernandes. There for Southampton. Nice ball to Downs. And now Stewart. He was fouled by Tierney.
That's good play. Exactly what you want from your centre forward, so that's the benefit of him just playing slightly further up the field. He's the get-out man if the quality of delivery is of a nice standard.
Before is a position in which several players have been tried this season for Southampton. Even Suleiman himself has played as the main forward. Machu, Archer. Two of the names who led the line this season, Adam Armstrong. Taylor. Stewart again. He's received the ball a fair few times, but he's dispossessed by Kivior. So one member of that Arsenal back line will be comfortable in those sort of duels. With Partey. Zinchenko. Tierney. Zinchenko to Partey. Now Rice. And now Waneri. Coming through to get the shot. White. Martinelli. Waneri. Still by Ramsdale, but he'll be able to collect it. That's the sort of areas that Waneri's looking to get into.
Yeah, nice control from Waneri. Almost shifts it. Does shift it very quickly, doesn't he? Yeah. One touch, ball just runs across his body and then shift. Great goalkeeper from Ramsdale, isn't it? And still so wide of the goal like that.
Still player there to follow up. Rice can't win it. And Robinson can search forward. And now Stewart. Oh, he's caught. It's going to be a free kick on the edge of the game. Rice admits to the
Yeah, it's a good play from Ross Stewart. Nice and determined. After that run from J. Robinson. Throwing in Partey in. No complaints about the free kick.
Well, there was a time that they had James Ward-Prowse over free kicks like this. That is it. Right now. Fernandes, the left foot of Wellington. Suleiman.
What a great chance this is. At least you've got to test the goalkeeper. It's actually a nice height, isn't it? Not too close to the 18-yard line.
I'm not happy with the positioning of Stewart. If he is blocking him, it'd be offside, but this is there to be an irritant for now. Comes directly from a free kick this season for Southampton.
I think another 2 yards further out. He's primed for over the wall, but I think he's going to go goalkeeper side.
Fernandes straight into the wall. And Arsenal quick to come charging out. Really trying to kill into the park of Rice. Also trying to find some room.
That was good, wasn't it? Nice tiny feet. Ball pretty close to his body. Fernandes goes to ground. It's never a free kick. This is lovely balance and control around Ben White. Just unable to get it back across the goalkeeper. Nice strike. Good signs from young Robinson.
He's just a year younger than Tyler Dibbling. There's the Fernandes corner.
That's a lovely header. He's actually not too far off the ground, is Ross Stewart, but the timing of it is almost falling as the ball comes to him. Superbly redirected. Enough pace up on it. I know David Ryan perhaps thinks that it's going to go into safety. It's a lot of while, doesn't it, to sort of get up off his toes and across the face of the goalkeeper, but take nothing away from Stewart. Lovely finish. The fans really deserve that. Signing off with at least a goal.
And his first Premier League goal. Same time, yes, as that goal from Ross Stewart went in. Chelsea have taken the lead at the City Ground, a huge goal in the race for the Champions League, a goal that moves Chelsea up to fourth. And Newcastle is still being held by Everton, now in a precarious position in our top five. And Cola with a goal for the Blues. Tierney. Sterling. Just the 26th goal this season for Southampton. Match day 38. One in to White. Right over the line. Took it away.
Superb defending. Lovely ball from Waneri to Ben White. He makes a fantastic run all the way around the youngster. What about this for timing and delivery of pass? Superbly measured. Oh, Segura actually smashed it into Declan Rice. Another little corner after that bounced straight on the play.
Waneri to the edge of the box, Zinchenko time to hurt himself. Well, Arsenal put this ball out of play.
It's not a head injury. If we're going on playing on.
So Waneri heeled up inside, and Waneri's shot, that's caught. Ryan. It was just, I think, the follow Zinchenko from the shot just caught Sulemana.
Certainly was brave, wasn't it? Sulemana. It's the fall through, is it? Who goes in the end from Zinchenko? See, that was a head injury, otherwise he would have stopped playing.
He was put in quite the shift today, Cardin Silimana. In the match so far. But so far, a goal apiece. First half goal for Arsenal. And Kieran Tierney on his final appearance for the club. His first Premier League goal, Boxing Day 21, to give Arsenal the advantage in the first half.
Yeah, lovely way for him to sign off, isn't it, Kieran Tierney? Striker's finish. Yeah, it should be blocked before it gets to him, to be honest. Nobody from Southampton in that. And there's an easy defensive position. And it's a lovely head, isn't it? Ross Stewart is first. Just moving away from David Ryan.
There's both goal scorers. The two Scots.
Mine was better than yours, and I say to each other.
They all count the same. Well, we'll make the first change. It's going to be Arsenal. Looks like down there, activity on the bench. So it's going to be Trossard and Saka to come on here for Arsenal. Useful players to join the action. Teta determined to end with a win. Stoivenberg, his assistant. Saka's right. Moving a shot on the touchline. And off goes Raheem Sterling. Probably the last time in an Arsenal shirt. He's on loan from Chelsea. Likely to return to the club. Player who's very much likely to be in Arsenal next season. Putting on the captain's armband, Bukayo Saka will come across to his right-hand side. Getting the reception from the away support on the other side of the pitch, but they're still applauding him all the same. His final action in an Arsenal shirt comes to an end. As I mentioned before, a very popular figure at the club who was one of their best players when Arteta first started. Injury issues have affected his career, but he's been able to play a part in this campaign and scoring on his final appearance.
Yeah, nice send-off for the Scotsman.
So that sees Thomas Partey moved to centre-back for now. Waneri to the central role. Waneri and Saka playing together here. Here is Saka, his first to run with the ball. Now White for Trossard. Waneri. Playing to White. Trossard, the other man coming on for Arsenal. An equaliser for Ross Stewart, provided by Thomas Fernandes. His fourth assist of the season. He's created more than any other Southampton player in this campaign. I mentioned him being a standout for them in an underwhelming season. Player would be right in the circumstances the Saints have found themselves in. It's Kivior to Zinchenko. Now Rice. Saka. To Rice again, it's fired at him by Saka. Here's Waneri. Kivior. Martinelli. Rice looking for Saka. That was important touch there from Taylor. Wellington. Suleimano tries to run round White. Zinchenko. White to Waneri. Saka. Digs out the cross. Had to clear it away. Zinchenko thought about heading it first time. Now Kivior. Zinchenko. Ross not going to find its way. The second line. Arsenal trying to retake the lead here. But as it stands, they'd be set for their 50th draw of the Premier League campaign. And also, as it stands, only Everton will have drawn more games. But that's the difference too. Arsenal won 19 games this season to have drawn 15, if it is the case by the end of this. That is another example of where they've fallen short in the end. Only lost 4 games. That's fewer than Liverpool. 17 touches apiece in the boxes. Saka with the Arsenal corner. Conceded from one, trying to score from one. Suleimana. He holds up 2 Arsenal players there. There's Saka, he must want it back. And then Wellington sweeping that forward to Stewart. He's held up the ball pretty well today. Fernandes couldn't collect. Marino to Martinelli.
Fantastic defending.
Just to come back to Raya. It's a broken nature to this Arsenal back line. Of course, with all the changes, missing so many first-team players in defence, but has created opportunity for Southampton. Rice. Saka. Round his man with ease. Should be a free kick to Southampton. Example of what Saka could do. Not any more examples, but Taylor with a big block.
Yeah, didn't really see any clear pass to Bukayo Saka. That's why I decided to go for goal. I think he was, that's what from Charlie Taylor, superb defending.
It's felt like a game which Arsenal put in more crosses than they usually do. They've got players who can put in a good delivery, that's the thing. Their presence airy in the box. Certainly aided by the late runs from Rice and Marino, but the usual way in which to score goals. Here's one airy. And Saka. Rice. To Marino. And Rice to Waneri. Trying to duck inside Taylor. Saka. And Saka to Trossard. Waneri. Zinchenko. That's pretty important for Southampton. So the first substitution to be made by Southampton. Ross Stewart. For his goal, has the scoreline at 1-1, his first Premier League goal. And pulled it off as part, and again held the ball up well.
Yeah, good performance. The longer the game went on, they're more comfortable. He felt quite a few minutes before the goal actually looked nice to round off the season with a heavy finish.
And Arsenal also bringing on 2 more pretty good players. And Miles Lewis Kelly, what a breakout season for him. He's made himself one of the first names on the team sheet for Mikel Arteta. And Zinchenko, he goes demand. And it's hard to come by Alexander Zinchenko. Will he still be at the club next season? But Miles Lewis-Skelly coming on. And then Martinelli, the other man to make way for Kai Havertz, who did come on in the game against Newcastle last time out after his long layoff. So certainly felt his absence. Can he find the 10th goal of his Premier League season to get one Arsenal player into double figures for the campaign? Trossard. Havertz carries an aerial threat as well. So don't stop the crosses. Partey to White. The pattern now, the second half. Trossard. Robinson. Had some bright moments in this second half. Going up for his first aerial challenge. Rice, White.
All these changes for the last few minutes. Difficult for the players to find their rhythm, no matter how good you are.
It's Rice though. Kivior. Trossard. That cross is blocked. Downs going up for the header. Overchukwu could bring it away. Oh, he got it wrong in the end.
Yeah, some miscommunication.
Well, a big goal elsewhere in the Premier League. Newcastle United are behind at home to Everton. And a goal which moves Aston Villa into the Champions League places and moves the Magpies out. Aston Villa down to 10 at Old Trafford. Martinez sent off in that game. Plenty of incident. Played across to Rice. Trezeguet with a goal for Everton. Away from Havertz. Or Marino either. Forward header from Wood.
Defended well, haven't they, the second half, Southampton? Nice and brave, some important blocks. People covering for each other pretty well.
Just stop playing for a second because there's a ball on the roof of the net as it stands, or the top of the net. It's not there anymore, so we're good to go. Useful player to have at that near post, and a useful player to break is Suleiman. Who's really been excellent with his ability to bring that ball forward for Southampton. Onuachu. Got shirts flooding forward here, Southampton. Robinson waiting for it. Aguero on the cross.
That was a nice break, wasn't it? It looked like Suleiman had taken the wrong option coming inside, but the pass was not easy to find a teammate right on the far side, but kept his composure. Onuachu eventually got there. What a steal this would be if they're able to get something quite on the counter, but defended well against Arsenal the last 10 or so minutes.
They actually have a winning advantage over Arsenal at home in the Premier League. More games than Arsenal have here. Onuachu, the home supporters appreciated that little bit of skill. Under not much pressure, of course. Here's the bounce. That's the sort of cheer that you get on the final day. Odegaard about to come on for Arsenal. So the club captain going to join the action. I think they'll see one Neri come off, but we'll see. And it is the case of the teenager making way. He's making his way in the game. Some eye-catching moments today. And on comes Odegaard. season which has underwhelmed in many respects with high standards. Another Arsenal player affected by injury in this campaign. He's created the most chances for Arsenal this season. Odegaard in his time out earlier on in the season. White. Odegaard. Now Rice. Skelly. So ending the game here. Pretty strong looking side. Certainly midfield and attack. As Rice trying to scoop that through. Marino. And it has been confirmed the goal won't count for the Saka. I think he knew it as well. Right, it's the player down for Southampton, Suleiman, and not for the first time in this game. And it feels like one of those performances where he's given absolutely everything today, Suleiman.
He's got a lot of ground and also with great speed as well. He uses a lot of energy, does. He do the quick plays.
Simon Ross having to step in. George was left the club. And he's about to bring on Cameron Archer to go up front. Archer join the front line, and it's going to be Jay Robinson to make way for Archer. So Suleiman will stay on for now. Archer with 2 Premier League goals this season. This will be his 35th appearance of the campaign. But only 13 starts. And that's the key. Well, this is Suleiman going off.
Yeah, he's been thick in the action for the Saints, hasn't he? But also in the Warriors for the last 20 or so minutes. And getting a well-deserved round of applause. As I said earlier on, Will Still will be looking forward to working with him, you'd imagine, in the Championship next season. And for the players, you think you could be real match winners, potential saviours for the club and getting them back up at the end of this next campaign.
Will Smallbone moves into the midfield. So Archer will join on Archer in the front line. And still, he will still be here next season. Who will we look to bring in? I think he heard me. It's been a second goal for Manchester City as well, and there you go. It doesn't change their position. They're already set for Champions League football. But, no surprise about the goal scorer, Erling Haaland. First straight season in which he scored over 20 goals. It was White, Odegaard. Skelly. As it stands, Arsenal still set for their 15th draw of the campaign. To change that here, Saka. Odegaard. Saka again. White. It's all very tight. Nice to break it fast for Trossard, trying to find room to turn. Disappointed defence, though, Southampton.
Well, he did turn, but just didn't pull the trigger. And that close, once you feel as if you've got half a yard, I mean, just swinging that left foot of his.
Odegaard inside to Rice. Now Partey. White took a knock, but he won't get the free kick. Just went for the leg of Archer. I think that's frustration from White because he probably should have picked up a free kick. Stand up for the referee, that's it. To work it back. Top scorer for Southampton this season with 4 Premier League goals. Mentioned already, always really been a struggle, but they scored home and away against Arsenal, just as they did in the season they last went down. In fact, they were unbeaten in the 2 games in that campaign, 22-23. 1-1 draw at home and a dramatic 3-3 draw at the Emirates. Here's Saka. White. Do have an area of threat in the box, Arsenal, but crosses right now.
And they've got away from crossing the ball like they did so effectively in the first half hour of the game. It's always a little bit frustrating when you're watching as a neutral. Players don't take enough opportunities to swing the ball. As I said, it gives the Southampton defence just time to get back and set themselves, coordinate with those in front of them. Make it so much more difficult. Despite the quality that Arsenal possess and been able to pick teams open in the final third. Those 2 solid blocks, a lot of prizing and patience. And the urge and the urgency is not quite there today from Arsenal, understandably. Last game with nothing on it for them.
I mentioned a few times about the lack of options in the back for Arsenal, but it's equally the case for Southampton today. We've seen several central defenders, with Dennis Stevens and Bednarik as well. They've had to reshuffle at the back, and they've done pretty well so far. The side have lost 29 matches this season, but drawing this one. Should be their 7th draw of the campaign. Kivior. Kivior again. Partey. White. Partey. Trying to find a way through the Southampton defence. Kivior. He goes across for Arsenal with it dropped. Arsenal shirt. Chukwu trying to find a way out, but they're pinned in a little bit here, Southampton. Trossard. Partey. Chukwu hobbling, trying to hold his position. Saka. Deep went for White in the end. Odegaard, but White still on the move. Arsenal triangle trying to carve out the opportunity. Most effective attacking moves almost given away by Arnold, actually cleared away by Taylor. Well, another twist in the Champions League race. Manchester United have taken the lead against Aston Villa, so Newcastle are back in the Champions League places, even though they're losing to Everton. So, as it stands, Villa and Forest missing out. With about 6 minutes to go at the 90s. It wouldn't take much for things to change again. Here's Partey. Odegaard. Saka. To bend it in. By Taylor once more has been defended. Although a corner of Chukwu here, who will initially return to Chelsea, and will be back in Southampton as another meter. to their feet to applaud him this campaign.
He's performed well. Throughout the course of the season, and the outcome this afternoon. Himself and Suleiman have been the stand-up players, if you like. Been impressed as well with Ross Stewart, who got his goal before he was replaced.
Oh, Sander will come on. It's actually a defender. So he'll join on that back line. To basically a back five anyway. Sander, another teenager. Saka. One to guard. To be not a bad ball at all. It dropped Havertz again. No. Taylor, whose interventions have been very important for Southampton this second half.
Yeah, I think he meant to hit it back to his goalkeeper, and he was almost forced on him by the presence of Kai Havertz. This is a lovely ball from out there, isn't it? Pace on it. And he's looking to head it out, perhaps behind for a corner.
But incidentally, one thing that has been very partly lost in this is that see David Ryan, no clean sheet for him today, but also no clean sheet for Matt Sells either. So he'll share the Golden Glove with the Nottingham Forest goalkeeper. 13 clean sheets apiece. So Wellington. There's a long throw towards Onuachu, but it was won by Rice. And it's Saka early on. Slightly slipped to the wrong moment there. Havertz can't hold it up. Ramsdale. Saka to Ødegaard. Good body strength and looking for Havertz, but couldn't reach the German.
Need a breather, the Saints, don't they? Not much one-way traffic this second half. Let's change a few passes. No rush to get forward.
Ramsdale, Onuachu, compete for this. Kivior, no problem, and then Lewis Skelly. Downs, too much to do. The spotters feel they can try and nick this one at the end, but might have issues at the other end as Ødegaard drives forward. And White joining in as well. Ødegaard across to Trossard. And back to Ødegaard. Gets away from Smallwood. Coming off the bench. For the Gunners on the final day. And a standout moment for Martin Ødegaard. In an underwhelming season by his high standards. But there was an example of his high standards.
Superb strike from the Arsenal captain. Went around well small, but just a little bit too easily for my liking. I can understand a player who's been on the pitch and has got tired legs, but Smallbone has got fresh legs. He just allows the Arsenal man to go around a little bit too easily. From then it's a question whether Ødegaard can deliver with the technique and the power and the placement he does. Yeah, a terrible defending outside the box. Got to be a lot more aggressive than that with the fresh legs that Smallbone has. That's a super strike. Ramsdale sees it just a little bit late, arrowed into the corner. Great technique, look at that.
Third Premier League goal of the season for Odegaard. Finding that goal in the 90th minute to break Southampton hearts here. They were fighting hard to end their season on a relative high. They might still find another goal here. Small bone, loose pass. Taylor.
It's amazing how football works. After being totally dominant in the second half, just when it looks as if Southampton will perhaps get a little bit of a breather.
Archer will reach this. But it's never fully in control and offside as well.
You know, almost as if they'd weathered the storm and they had a few touches in the opposing half. Straight back, just as the game got a little bit stretched, and the quality and also possess, able to break them open once again.
Well, Martin Odegaard, he had that low spell initially in Arsenal, but if you take that out of the equation, it's been his lowest scoring season for the club. His fourth full season with the club. His fifth goal in the competitions. Ronaldo still seen as very important for Arsenal going forward. To see a bit more of what they've just seen. Here's Havertz. Back to Odegaard again. I think he's trying to slide that through to Havertz. Rice. Towards Havertz.
The strikers know there's only a couple of minutes to go between now and the end of the campaign. They'll be looking to try and get something on target themselves.
Mentioning that, and of course, Havertz tried to find a 10th league goal of the season. It's been over 100 years since Arsenal had a player who didn't reach at least 10 goals in a league campaign. And of course, there are mitigating circumstances with the injuries, but also when we're looking at where Arsenal just missed out, really, as far as winning Liverpool a real title challenge.
The draws kill you. That's you know, to be good. 15 draws, is it? You know, for you to have that many throughout the course of the campaign, 14 or 15. That's a lot.
Well, Saka's down. It's getting worse for 10-man Villa, who are now 2-0 down. Christian Eriksen on the score sheet for Manchester United, who with that win will move away from 17th where they were for a moment. But it means that Aston Villa looks set to miss out on Champions League football. But it's in there for Arteta, and he looks at Saka right at the end of the final game of the season. Just knows he'll have some time to recover there. I hope it's not something too serious in any case.
Yeah, just lost his fucking slips, and it could be your groin, it could be your hip flexor, it could be the knee. It's up on his feet. It's not too bad.
Hamstring the deprived Arsenal of his services extended period this season. He's just walking off, and you just wonder, there's about 3 minutes or so remaining. They won't rush him back on. But for Mikel Arteta, he has stated in press conferences as well that the club is expecting the club to have a big summer in the transfer market, and also to make sure important players extend their stays at the club as well, commit to their future. And that next to it, Josh Kroenke will play a big part in that as well as Andrea Berta, the sporting director.
Yeah, they all need to be singing from the same hymn sheet, don't they? To be aligned with the type of player they think is essential for the football club. So, this is Berta. Not so much Kroenke, but certainly Berta and Arteta need to be in agreement. Otherwise, things can turn sour very quickly, can't they, in terms of purchasing new men.
Well, a couple more minutes remaining, and As it stands, Arsenal would be 10 points behind Liverpool in the end. They would love to have been closer. They were only 2 points off the title last season, but it's set to be second again, ahead of Manchester City. And Saka coming on a bit too soon. You have to give that period of time before you can come back on again. And Archer, challenged by the makeshift centre half for Arsenal, Thomas Partey. We know that Arteta likes players who can play multiple positions as well. That would be in the mix as far as recruitment.
Still, in the modern game, being a striker, as a proper one, is a specialist. You need somebody whose reason for living is to score goals, especially from the big clubs, hoping to win trophies.
Southampton have more recognised strikers, and they've scored twice as many as Arsenal.
You can't have a makeshift man in that position and hope, I think, to win a title. If you've got exceptional goal scorers in different parts of the field, 4 or 5 players in the squad who are chipping with 8 to 10, perhaps 12 league goals, then I think you have a chance, but they don't have that, I'm afraid. Rice will get his few, the guard, of course, Saka from the wide areas, as with Martinelli. But who can, given the opportunities, and they will create chances this Arsenal side, is good for 20-25 goals.
You could say they have twice as many recognised strikers. They don't have any recognised strikers per se in their squad. So there are some in India Ketia. Havertz, players led the line for them. He's played in midfield for the club as well. By the closing seconds of Southampton's time in the Premier League for at least a year.
I'm sure they'll be well placed to bounce back, if not next season, the season after. As I said, the parachute payments will give them an advantage over many of the Championship clubs. And with a fresh young manager, Will Still, reasons for them to think positively about the future.
So they've been down before, they've come back up before. They want to stay there the next time they go. Small bone, and there's too much on that pass, and that might be that. Played the 7 minutes, so this might be the last attack. It's Lewis Skelly. He was fouled. And Fernandez. Trossard. To the 98th minute. His final day. Wood. Edge of his own box. To end his season with something. And on we go with this one. Southampton have the last words. Well, with Odegaard's goal coming in the 90th minute, would have added on with an extra minute, but we're now in the 100th minute. So Ramsdale to take his late free kick for Southampton, clips it forward, Raya will come, Raya will claim. And that's Arsenal win on the final day, the title win on the final day. To fight for this one, the captain Odegaard with a 90th minute winner in the end after Southampton had fought back through Ross Stewart's leveller, a header from a corner in the second half. But Kieran Tierney on his final